For more on the legal implications here, we booked an appointment with a true expert who knows this inside and out. Neama Rahmani back with us, former federal prosecutor, now a trial attorney. Neama, good to see you. This morning with our executive producer, I said, please, let's get Neama on because a lot of this stuff, everyone's saying everything, but we need to know just the truth. Can you explain a few items here? First of all, $683,000 in payment on various women. That's the quote, various women. What does that mean?
This is one of the most salacious indictments I've ever read. You're talking about strippers. You're talking about escorts, flights and hotels for strippers and escorts to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then there's the mention of his crack cocaine addiction. This indictment is an absolutely terrible look for Hunter Biden, and it's much more serious than even the Delaware charges because you're looking at those felony tax charges. And unlike the Delaware case, where maybe, just maybe, the defense has some arguments about the constitutionality of the gun charge or maybe the enforceability of the settlement agreement, there's no real legal defense here. It's clear that Hunter Biden didn't file taxes. He didn't pay taxes for several years. And although he may be able to argue that they weren't willful violations to maybe get around some of the most serious charges, it's really an indefensible case here in my hometown of Los Angeles.
Neama, how do they go about solidifying that? I mean, when you're looking for evidence, because I'm looking year by year here at the picture on the various women. 2017 was $138,000, $837. You have in 2019, $156,427. It's down to the dollar. Where are they getting that?
Well, Hunter Biden did take a lot of cash out of ATMs, but a lot of these charges, they were just electronic. We're talking about credit card transactions. We're talking about Venmo. I mean, he didn't do a very good job hiding some of this activity. There's membership fees to sex clubs. So it's all pretty bad. So once the Department of Justice and IRS started investigating, it was pretty easy to follow that electronic paper trail and follow the money. See the money coming in from China, the Ukraine, Romania, and see it going out to these various activities that Hunter Biden was trying to argue were business expenses. And of course, we all know you can't write off things like strippers, escorts, flights, and hotels for them.
I see. You mentioned cash, $1.6 million in ATM and cash withdrawals. Why would that be illegal?
There's nothing illegal with that at all. It's just the question is, if someone has access to that type of cash, they should be filing their tax returns. That's the problem here. So you can deposit cash, you can withdraw cash, you can even pay for your female friends with that money. There's nothing unlawful with paying strippers. The problem is you have to file your taxes, you have to pay your child support, you have to disclose it if you're getting divorced from your ex-wife, and these are all things that Hunter Biden allegedly failed to do.
I see. Okay, so in 2021, Hunter Biden paid the past due back taxes. His lawyer repeatedly loaned him reportedly millions of dollars to do this, but his new lawyer, Abby Lowell, and he has some sharp elbows, he kept hammering this point. It has been paid back. What is the issue? So is the problem that he tried to write this stuff off? What is the exact issue?
Well, the issue is he tried to write it off. And really, frankly, the bigger issue is the tremendous mistake that Abby Lowell and Hunter Biden's lawyers made in Delaware. He got a sweetheart deal, 2 no-time misdemeanors, diversion, which you never see in federal court. And what did they do? They got greedy. They blew up the deal. So guess what? Then all of a sudden, U.S. Attorney David Weiss becomes special counsel David Weiss. You can prosecute cases anywhere in the country. And let's not forget, the U.S. Attorney here in Los Angeles, Martin Estrada, he said he's not going to prosecute Hunter Biden here. He's not going to co-counsel the case. So, they blew up the deal, and now they're upset that the Department of Justice is throwing the entire book at Hunter Biden, and really they only have themselves to blame.
Well, and Hunter Biden's lawyers say prosecutors are, quote, bowing to Republican pressure. Did federal prosecutors get rolled in a way? Did they fall for a GOP trick?
Well, look, it may all well be political, but the problem is that's not a legal defense. And the analogy I like to give is, if we're driving home today and I get pulled over for speeding, I can't say, well, all these other folks were speeding. Why are you coming after me? You're right. Tax evasion, failure to file taxes is usually not prosecuted like this. But Hunter Biden is no ordinary person. So unless he can prove that there was some constitutionally prohibited reason that he's being prosecuted, such as his political beliefs, it's not going to be a legal defense, and no judge will allow that defense in court before a jury.
I guess, Neama, I wonder if people are saying, like, yeah, DOJ is going after him. You know, they're the heroes here. If prosecutors knew about this alleged illegal activity and then offered him this sweetheart deal, as you called it, they were just going to let him go, get away with it?
I think they were. I think, it would have been unlikely that he would be facing charges in California or in D.C. and elsewhere where he lived. I think that was the issue. I think prosecutors said, listen, we're going to give you a break. We're going to give you a no-time misdemeanor. We're going to charge it. Well, because, again, this is not usually charged. Addict in possession, I put more than 1,000 people in prison. I never charged it by itself. Most people, if they have a tax problem, it's resolved administratively through an audit, maybe civil litigation with the IRS. Folks are rarely criminally charged for this. So I understand why the defense was upset. But the thing is, they have no leverage here. They have no defense. That's why I don't think there's any way that Hunter Biden is going to go to trial. He's going to try to push this out till after the November 24 election, and then we'll see what Joe Biden does. I think if he loses, there's a very real possibility that on his way out, he pardons his son.
Really? You mean that? Like, no trial, no prison time?
I think so. I think if Joe Biden loses, one of his last acts will be to pardon Hunter Biden. I think if he wins and he regains the White House, the political fallout might be too much. But at the end of the day, Joe Biden is a father. He loves his son. And even though I think the chance of imprisonment is low here, I think that would be something that any father would do. Just a guess, I'm not Joe Biden, but that's my speculation as what he would do if he loses the election next year.
I don't have a history book at my fingertips, but I believe maybe Bill Clinton pardoned his brother or something like that. So, I mean, families have, it's happened before. Neama Rahmani, thank you so much as always.
Thanks for having me as always.